Rock Art Tarot by Roelen is not something that I have the deck for, but I will say her book is set apart in both that it contains pictures relating to the cards, but it has a listing of how everything in the deck specifically relates to what has been done before in Australia, in Africa, in the Americas, in Eurasia is left out of this, but we do have the same sorts of communication going on, although some themes are not quite the same sort of thing when you see them in Eurasia. It does very much relate to the themes that you're used to with the 78 cards of the tarot. And it shows how the cards at hand tend to be a mixture of themes shown in different places. When doing symbolic readings, it's important to explore one's doubts and excitements and impulses, and of course to realize that you yourself, or whoever the storyteller is the one conveying the message, as much as pictoglyphs can be summary markers of experiences. Information and methods can be conveyed through the art of long ago in regards to what currently isn't being done in the traditions, what animals and plants may not be around anymore. The 10 of sensations particularly makes you think of chakras, even though it has 30, divisions, you could say. But, the 9 gates, 3 for each gate. Time and cosmology are also essential things to regard in terms of, readings. When rock art started and when it actually turned into what we would call language, it's hard to tell. Some stuff keeps on getting moved further and further back. With the minor arcana, we have intellect instead of swords, intuition instead of wands, emotions instead of cups, sensations instead of discs. We have mankind instead of kings. We have womankind instead of queens. We have peacemakers instead of princes, and defenders instead of princesses or pages. Like the church paintings that people may be used to, they convey a lesson that we can live out, that we can work out and develop our ideas related to it. And some of the cards itself have more detail than I could put in these little things, but one gets the general idea here. We see the musician hero or shaman, depending on how you're going to think about it. and you may identify more with one thing than another. And being from different cultures, we may interpret something a little bit different. Like over here with eternal, we don't see an octopus, we see a guardian spirit. I mean, as much as some people's guardian spirit is Cthulhu, that's not what we're going to mean here. I have chosen black to illustrate the major arcana, red to illustrate fire, purple to illustrate water, blue to illustrate air, and pink to illustrate earth. And just like Joseph Campbell mentioned in The Power of Myth, it's important to be careful what you represent, because the spiritual art is like a spell. So when you show hunting and stuff like this, you're showing what you want to occur. You're showing what you're wanting to undo, perhaps. And, if it gets to that point with your marriage or other relationships, don't resort to putting hands on each other. But these things relate on different levels, because as much as that's physical and that's mental and that's emotional, and the other is impulsive, and that spiritual, they all, we have physical language. We have, obviously, there's a lot of emotion, like being caught up in the moment with that guy.